Good afternoon. Today we're going to look into an online almanac called Fact Monster, and we're going to use Fact Monster to give us some more insight into the geographic and cultural elements related to the novel A Long Walk to Water. A Long Walk to Water is a story of Salva, an 11-year-old boy who was forced from his home in Sudan, eventually to Ethiopia, to Kenya, and long down the line to New York City as he fled for his life due to civil war in Sudan. Eventually, Salva will move on to New York and start a philanthropic organization called Water for Southern Sudan, which is related to Naya, the other main character in A Long Walk to Water, an 11-year-old girl who, before wells are added to her country in Sudan, is forced to walk up to 8 hours a day to bring water from a small source of fresh water hours away from her home back and forth so that her family can use the water. So on to Fact Monster. So first you're going to open up your internet browser. I'm using Google Chrome. You could also use something else like Safari or Internet Explorer or Firefox. The easiest way is to start from your homepage, which in my case is Google, to go up here, and we're going to go to Fact Monster. So typing in the address for Fact Monster, it's www.factmonster.com. Here we are at the home page. We're going to do research on some of those countries that Salva lived in and Naya lived in A Long Walk to Water. We're going to be using the World section of Fact Monster's online resources, starting by clicking on World. World's going to take us to this entire collection of all the information available in the World section. We are going to go to the country pages. So clicking on countries, it will take us to a list in alphabetical order of countries around the world. Starting with Sudan, we're going to click on S, which brings us to all of the countries starting with the letter S, and then select Sudan from the list. Once on the page, every country has the same layout, showing you the country's flag, the basic geography as in location on the earth, the type of government, and then a general history of that particular country. For our purposes, we're going to look down a little bit further, and then it's right around here that we start to see information related to the conflict that is still going on and related to A Long Walk to Water and Salva's journey and the Lost Boys of Sudan. Other than the historical aspect, where we want to get further information, it's on the left-hand side in the purple column that we get all of our quick and easy fast facts. If you notice all the headings, like population, capital, largest cities, monetary unit, the major languages, with helpful hints like official in parentheses to tell you which ones are most commonly spoken. We also have things like the literacy rate and a brief economic summary. Moving throughout those paragraphs, be sure to find those different headings and give yourself more information about the different kinds of elements related to the economy in that country. And if we notice, we see in Sudan they're highly agricultural with lots of natural resources that come from the ground and require water. So in the case of A Long Walk to Water, that fresh water source is vital to the survival of the people in Sudan. So once we feel like we've found all the information that we need from this page, we can click back on our browser, which will take us back to our alphabetical list, and then we can scroll up and move on to our next country. In this case, we would move on to Ethiopia. Along with all of the information that's available in text, every entry also has access to a political map of the country, showing you the surrounding countries, bodies of water, major cities. If you'd like further information about maps in other areas of the world, you can go into the left-hand side over here, and under Reference Desk at the bottom, we have the Atlas section. Once here, we have a world map, all of which is clickable. So if we wanted to look at other countries in Africa, we could just click on Africa. And then from here, you have the option to click directly on the country from the map, or you can select the name from the list below. And again, this is a political map of the countries. That is Fact Monster for the World section. If we go back to the World and News section, we can select it from here. This is where we can find more specific information. So if we wanted to find general religious information, more on the geographic side, other kinds of stats and facts, there's a wealth of knowledge available through factmonster.com that should allow you to compile the information that you need to give more background to the geographic and cultural elements of A Long Walk to Water. Now that we've got Fact Monster figured out and under our belt, let's move on to one last little site, and that is the Water for Southern Sudan organization that Salva himself started. So if you go to waterforsouthsudan.org, you can see information about the organization, what they do, and how they process the water by creating these small wells that can be easily installed through personal donations. Awesome organization. It's an amazing story of Salva and his triumph over a difficult life and situation. Way to go, Salva. Way to go, Naya. And that is A Long Walk to Water, Fact Monster, and the organization that Salva started, Water for South Sudan. I hope you enjoyed your brief tour of Fact Monster, and I look forward to seeing all of the projects that you can create for A Long Walk to Water by using that resource.